If you're asking yourself, do I need a business checking account? Then most likely the answer is yes. In today's world, it seems like everyone has some sort of side hustle or gig where they make money not only as a person, but sometimes as a sole proprietor or independent contractor. And therefore, the lines can get blurred between what's personal income and what's business income. So today, I'm going to share with you why it's important to get a business checking account and some things to consider along the way. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. I'm Rich Smith, and one of the money lessons you never learned in school is why it's important to have a business checking account if you're earning money, even as a sole proprietor, an independent contractor, basically if you're earning any money outside a regular W-2 job. And if you like learning about money and business, please drop a like for this video. So the first thing I want to point out about having a business checking account is that it separates your personal and business finances. You see, if you have a personal checking account, this is commonly like the one that everyone opens, maybe when you're like in high school or in college, and you can sign up for direct deposit. You get a check from somebody, you can deposit it in there. Maybe every once in a while you go to the ATM, you pull out some cash. However, with a business checking account, everything you earn and everything you spend on the business stays and needs to stay completely separate. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why? And the number one thing I can think of is accounting purposes and tax simplification. You see, as you earn money that is not taxed, money that is considered, business income, sole proprietor income, independent contract income, you should be depositing or direct depositing into that business account. That way, if you have to pay any sort of quarterly taxes, or at the end of the year, you're wondering how much did I make? Like doing DoorDash or Uber, all the money went into there, and then you can deduct all the expenses from that income. Now, I don't want to bore you too much with tax simplification, but it really is important to start to think about your business separate from your personal. So let's move on to the second reason why it's so important to have a business checking account. One of the things you probably didn't consider is just how you look from the outside in. And what I mean by that is having a business checking account gives you a level of professionalism, of credibility when you're actually doing business, not only with customers, but with other businesses. For example, just the other day, I needed to pay for something using one of my business credit cards. And the guy on the other line said, hey, listen, it's actually going to show up as a charge from business C, even though I'm business B. See, what I'm doing is I'm going to pay for some product using your card, and then that way, it works out for you, Rich. You get the points, and I don't have to pay for the product. I mean, I'm going to stop you right there. I had to shut that down because it just sounded like a little shady, a little like somebody else is going to be using your card. And I said hey, no thanks. And it made me think twice about doing business with this one business that was trying to run this. Moving on, another thing you probably didn't think of is scaling or growth. Because if you have a business checking account, many times there's going to be features that you may not use when you initially open it. Things like being able to accept credit cards, maybe apply for financing, sending or receiving a wire using your business name and your EIN as opposed to your personal name and your social security number. These are all built-in features of a business checking account that might have some fees associated with it, but that you might not initially expect to want to use, but when you begin to expand and grow your business, you have right at your fingertips ready to go. Which brings me to the part of this video where I want you to think about what you would need to actually open up a business checking account. I don't want this like mental list to deter you, but I want you to realize that as you are legitimizing your business, you're going to need these documents every time you go to do something like open up a business checking account, perhaps apply for, actually I made a video about it before, business credit cards, and of course going and filing your business taxes. So some of the things that you're going to need to gather are going to be the stuff that you get when you first register your business. Now, for my sole proprietors out there who are using your social security number, I'm kind of talking about and encouraging you to simply step it up just a notch to add that level of professionalism. And I'm not knocking like the sole props out there. It's just sort of separating that personal from business in a way that's going to kind of lead and let you be able to scale and grow. So the things that you're going to need are going to be those articles of organization. Sometimes these are called articles of incorporation. Sometimes they're called business licenses. These are the things that you get when you register with your state. The other thing that, of course, you're going to need is your EIN, your employee identification number. This is going to be that tax ID that you can use for your state and federal that is completely separate from your personal, and it's attached to your business. And they're also going to want any sort of like partnership agreements or DBAs if you're doing business as another name. And of course, believe it or not, they still want your personal ID, all your personal information, just to know like who in the business is opening it for the business. And another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times some of the business checking accounts you're gonna find online, and in fact, I'll leave a link down below in the description to some of the ones that I've vetted and you might wanna consider using. But some of the ones that you're gonna find online might require some sort of minimum, like minimum balance that you keep, or maybe it has to have, like, for example, a business checking account or business credit card linked together. Anyway, there might always be some sort of business checking fees. And you might be saying to yourself, well, why would I even want an account like that then? Well, for all the reasons, like I said earlier in the video, and there's almost always a way to pick a product that has less fees or just kind of check those boxes to avoid the fees. Also, usually when you sign up, there's some sort of like point offer, or there might be some sort of like sign up bonus, whether it's like, cash deposited back. Of course, not always, but let's be honest, you know me, I have business checking accounts with Chase, American Express, had one with Cabbage, which is now bought by American Express. I've got them basically all over for my different businesses, and each has their own pros and cons. A couple of key takeaways, like big picture, if you are interested in starting a business or getting that first business checking account, you have to realize, like, yes, it's a good idea to get one simply for tax purposes, to separate the business from the personal, and basically like get things organized for growth and scale. But of course, you need to kind of look and choose the right one for you. Sometimes they're going to have like cash withdrawal limits. Sometimes they're going to have like transfer out daily or limits. Things like wire fees or minimum balances that you have to keep are all things that you might want to like scratch your head and go like, all right, does this make sense for me and my business where we're at right now? Then again, depending on who you pick, you might be able to like link and get like a business checking account with a business credit card. That means that you might be building that business credit in a way that you weren't really doing before as a sole proprietor or independent contractor using your social security number. And believe it or not, some business checking accounts even give you like a little bit of interest or give you like a few offers if you use like the business debit card. So again, just do your due diligence and find the one that makes the most sense for you. So I mentioned it before, I'll leave a link down below in the description to a few business checking accounts you might want to check out, see what one is right for you, learn more, and then hopefully make a decision. Also, my website is full of other content all about business, personal finance, so feel free to check it out. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. All right, as always, I'm Rich, and until next time.